Greetings, friends. I'm Ken Carter, and I have the honor and joy of serving as the Bishop of the Western North Carolina Conference of the United Methodist Church. I wanted simply to share a few words with you of greeting and update. I was blessed at the latter half of the summer with 7 weeks of renewal leave, and I spent that time the first month in the United Kingdom, in Northern Ireland, and in England. I participated in a 4-day conference on peace building and living in post-conflict areas. This was very rewarding and inspiring to me to learn more about this. I also attended a board meeting of the Wesley House at Cambridge, which is where Methodists come from all over the world to learn and study. I'm blessed to serve on their board. The majority of that time was simply spent on vacation and renewal. Pam and I got on buses and trains. We went to small towns across northern England. If you've seen All Creatures Great and Small, we went to Thirsk, and we visited the home of the veterinarian James Herriot. We went to York and heard the National Youth Choir of Scotland. We went to the British Museum and saw amazing art. And we simply were able to relax and rest. And I thank you for that time of renewal. It was a gift, and I recognize that it came to me in that way. So we returned the end of August, and we are now back into the work. I want to remind you that our focus at annual conference was on our identity as United Methodist, the grace of Jesus Christ, the connection we have with each other, and the holiness to which we are called. Personal holiness, which is our prayer life, our worship, our searching the scriptures, and social holiness, which is how we live in relation to each other. It's really how we love God and how we love our neighbor as we love ourselves. This is the deeply rooted definition of who Wesleyan Methodist people are. It's who we are as United Methodist. We have been in a period of working through disaffiliations this fall. A significant number of our churches, a minority, but significant number of churches have voted to depart from us this fall. We will act on that in November. These have happened through decision-making processes in local churches. I want to thank the district superintendents who have led these charge conferences, and I want to thank you, the laity, for how you have gone about this work. A lawsuit was filed against our conference by a small number of churches, but a significant number of churches. That lawsuit has been resolved. I'm grateful to our Board of Trustees and our Chancellor for that work. And you've learned about that through our conference communications. This allowed us to continue to do the work in our charge conferences. And the result of the resolution was simply that we did the disaffiliation work according to the Book of Discipline by paragraph 2553. So that's been a part of this fall, but primarily the fall has been about, in our local churches, as I have observed, as I've worshiped with you, as I've preached in some local churches, it's been about filling backpacks for children going back to school and praying for them, the children and the teachers. It's been about preachers beginning new sermon series as we regather in the fall. It's been about Sunday school classes and small groups who are coming back together. It's been about refocusing on God's mission. It's been about our campus ministries coming back together. It's been celebrating the large numbers of youth we had at Camp Toccoa and Carolina Cross Connection and Mount Shepherd and in other settings. And so that's the primary work of the church, and I give thanks through all of that with you. We will have a full year coming up over the next 9 months, and that will culminate significantly with our hosting the General Conference in Charlotte for the global church. That will take place at the Convention Center in Charlotte. Miss Wanda Musgrave is our chair of our lay host committee. And we have a number of ways people can be involved in the General Conference. One of those ways will be a prayer vigil for our churches. There will be an online dimension of this that will happen actually the Sunday before General Conference begins. We will also encourage all churches who are open to receive a United Methodist leader to be the preacher for their morning worship services on the Sunday within the General Conference. And you'll be learning more about that as well. For churches in Charlotte, we'll be working with you to help you to participate more locally in the General Conference. All of that is happening. There were a couple of resolutions that came to us last year at annual conference. One was about inclusion, one was about racism, and I want you to know that we're in the planning stage of having a gathering for 3 groups. One will be a group that helps to lift up the voice of inclusion, another to be a voice that helps to lift up the importance of our dismantling racism. A third will be a group that looks at our conference financial resources, our sustainability and vitality, and how we bring these 3 conversations together so that we're not in competition with each other, so that we're not combative toward each other, so that we are allies with each other and we help to build each other up. We are on the way to a better church. I'm convinced of that. God has blessed us, the people of the Western North Carolina Conference. I thank you for your participation in our life together, and I wish you God's blessings.